Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurt. My phone number is 864-236-1680, or you can email me at dyslexicgeniushurt@gmail.com. What I'm going to talk about today is the Edison Diamond B reproducer, which is really a small version of an Edison Diamond disc reproducer. This one, when I got it, I had to replace the top piece here because they had that stuck in there, which is the neatest thing I've seen in a phonograph yet. I've pulled baling wire and nails out of them, but never any of this. What they had done is they'd taken two phonograph gears, threaded them, and this piece here was threaded into the reproducer like that and kind of off at an angle. And on the inside, we had a nut. I don't think it played well, but this is really fun. Also on the Diamond Bs, you'll see that this is painted black, and they did that for the sound waves to go more smoothly. Like when I rebuild a C or an H, I always chuck them in the lathe and I polish this out, make sure that it's smooth. I made this piece on the lathe, and I put it in place with ST Rebond. This is a super glue, but this isn't what you're getting at Walmart. This stuff is really, really strong, and it dries extremely quick and it won't come apart. I put say this is the piece going in. I put a little bit of super glue here, put it in, popped it in place, and then it was hard. Very nice. So how do I assemble one of these? Well, this is about 5/8 of an inch. You use a 2x4, drill a hole, and it fits in here because you don't want it flopping around and you're trying to work on it. Now we can assemble it. And this is how they go together, and this is how they come apart. They come apart in reverse on how they go together. First, we put in the gasket. Then we put in the rice paper diaphragm, but we also want to check, this is a silk thread. And we want to just gently check that and look for any fraying, or if it looks like it's going to break, you need to replace this. Then we're going to add the next gasket, which goes on top like that. And then we have this retaining ring. Well, this retaining ring has a little bump out. And that bump out fits in this hole right here, because that locks in place like that. And then the retaining ring comes in. On these, because these are pot metal and they swell up, you want to make sure that when you take them apart or you put them back together, that the retaining ring screws in. It's not binding. So now that we put a gasket in, a diaphragm in, another gasket in, this retaining ring in, we've put this in and we've tightened it all down. Now comes the real fun part. We have to attach the diamond styli. So we take the weight, we look at the weight fits on like that, and we have this. We have to hook this little hook here to the little opening right here on the silk thread. We want to hook that up. So what you're going to do is you're going to have the gasket in, you're going to hook this up, then you're going to pull this out and you're going to turn it over. And now you're going to wiggle the stylus bar through here. And they usually go in kind of like an angle like that. See how it fell out? And that's how you do it. So you hold the reproducer up and you drop it all together, kind of wiggle that, and you go boom. You flip it over. And if it all works right, your stylus bar is kind of sitting there. So you turn the stylus bar, and it's still hooked to the diaphragm. You set it in here. And now the hard part comes. I'm not going to take it out, but you have this shaft right here. And you take a pair of tweezers, a small needle nose, and you stick it through the shaft, and then you have to kind of wiggle this a little around the stylus bar, and it goes through the stylus bar and here, and now the stylus bar is in place. Now that you have that done, you stick this screw through here, which attaches to this. But before you reassemble the phonograph, this screw has to turn freely. And now if it doesn't turn freely, there's usually the thread here. You see the slot for the screwdriver? There's usually a little burr on the side. So what I did was, I chucked it in a drill, I gave this a little file, I polished it out, and I blued it, and I double checked everything so it fit in here. So now let's say we have the weights in, the stylus bar is hooked up, and you remember I have a little gap here. You shove that through, and this mounts down here like this. You just turn it aside and you screw this shaft into the spring, and you just pop it together like that. And then we put on this retaining piece right here. And now you have to take these two little screws, that screw and that screw there, those very tiny screws, and you have to look down, get those aligned, and you screw that together. You want to make sure that you put a light coat of oil on that and a light coat of oil on the long screw that comes through the body. You want to oil that and the threads. Now, on a Diamond B, we're missing the limit pin right here, which catches on the reproducer. So on a Diamond B, pull this out. You see it has a little bulge in the middle? That means it's threaded in. If it's straight, it's pressed in. But these on Diamond Bs usually are threaded in. So now you get everything together. And you screw this in here. You can screw this in anytime you want, but I just do it last in case I have to take everything apart. And it's all adjusted. And that's how you put a Diamond B reproducer together. These are wonderful reproducers, and I hope you enjoy this video, and that's my tip for the day.